What's up, everybody? How are you? It's good to see you. It's good to be seen by you. I, of course, am Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you live from an undisclosed location somewhere in the swamps of Central Florida. And welcome to Monday. I wish I could say welcome back to 2025 normalcy, but things are still up in the air. Just a little bit, guys. So, spoiler alert, I will not be here tomorrow. No stream tomorrow or Wednesday. Thursday, if everything goes to plan, I will be back. And then next week, things will be 100% normal. I hope we're going to be playing Gamma World this Friday. I hope that's the case, that Gamma World Friday will happen, and that the following week we'll just roll on with the show as it has been, incompetent and boring. But anyway, I have videos in the can for you guys that we'll release over the course of the next couple of days. Just sort of newsy stuff, you know, just sort of newsy kind of things. Good evening, great old ones. Bob Jester, Tony Wagenhauser, and Bob Schultz. Good to see you all out there. And if you're out there watching and you haven't popped in and said hello, do so. I so love to see smiling faces. And by the by, if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button and the bell icon for notifications. If you haven't already done that, and that's really helpful, actually. That keeps the show moving forward in a fun direction, as opposed to backwards in a not fun direction. But anyway, I wish I had much news to report, but I don't. Nothing new on the tabletop front that really fits. Greetings to Nova Scotia, Meteor Key Press. I got the, by the way, I'm not myself Canadian. Sorry. I got this shirt from my in-laws who went up to Nova Scotia once. This sweatshirt, and it's very comfortable. It is the right balance of warm, yet without being suffocating, which is what you need in a Florida winter. Oh, who the hell am I doing that for? We're going to have like 4 or 5 nights in the 30s here. And I'm sorry, I think that's cold. I think that's really, really cold. But anyhow, hello to you up there, Meteor Key. So what else is happening? Let me see. Gonna be out tomorrow and Wednesday. Got a little medical thing happening, and I am hoping that it works out, and that everything is okay with that. But as I said, I'm going to record a few videos, and I will try and set them up to release tomorrow in an automated fashion for you guys to check out. 11 degrees, Bob. Is that in freedom units or the communist measurement system? Let me know. But anyway, so that's I mean that's really just about it. That's all I have to talk about in my little corner. There's things that are going to go on that's months and weeks away. I know some people have been asking if I've got a theme in mind for Guac, the fourth Guac, is it the 4th? I think it is. That's coming up, and I don't have a Guac 4 theme yet. Might just be themeless, but we'll have to see. Maybe I'll 3D print tiny monster guac bowls. Would you guys like that? Would you buy an official guac merchandise miniature? Something you could take and paint? Let me know in the comments or in the live chat. You can let me know in either place. We've got some good stuff ahead, though, for the show. When we return to flight, when we return to playing the A series, I think you guys are going to enjoy that. That is a great series of modules. The Airy series, AERIE, indicating roost or lair. That's why they are the A series. And that always threw me when I was a kid. I always thought the A in the A series stood for advanced. I mean, B, B1, B2, B3, there's, basic, X, expert, A, advanced, S. Wait a minute. So, yeah, I was kindly pleased to discover what all those mean. And then, of course, you got all the confusion that goes on with what should have been the WG series, the World of Greyhawk series, about events that span the entire fate of the world of Greyhawk, which honestly, I mean, at that point, good evening, Jorge. Good to see you. It's always nice to see so many members in the audience, all those members waving to me. Yeah, I know what I said. But, I mean, technically, most early TSR modules, if Gary was going to go with a WG code, they should have all been WG, shouldn't they have? I mean, there was never any messing around with where they were. There's an entire section in the World of Greyhawk set that explains where each classic AD&D module, the A modules, the C modules, the S modules, the G modules, D1 through 3. Q1 takes place off by itself. But one would think that they all should have just been WG, that you pick a starting point. And Certus, the first module for AD&D, Gary took, I can't remember if he said 6 weeks or 6 months off from writing the Dungeon Master's Guide to knock out the G series, release it for tournaments, and then it be, the first modules. So technically it should have been WG 1, 2, 3, WG 4, 5, 6, WG 7, and then whatever came next, which I think was Tomb of Horrors, WG 8, and so on and etc. But we can't change the way things are. Not, mind you, that I haven't kind of created my own bit of confusion, because people do ask me if the if there is a WGH1, because my series starts off with WGH2, WG, and then goes through WGH 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so people ask me if there's a WGH1. And there is, it's just all up here. I have started writing it, then I've stopped. I've completely scrapped ideas for WGH1. I know what I want WGH1 to be, but it's also ginormous. That's not what the G stands for. And if you're wondering what the G stands for, it's Greyhawk. WGH, Williams Greyhawk, or World of Greyhawk. I was watching a bit today with the late Norm Macdonald, who was really probably one of the most talented comedians of all time. And he was doing just a little bit of stand-up on the Letterman show. It was Letterman's last week, and Norm and Dave got along pretty well. And he came out and he said, I can't remember what he was doing somewhere, but he said, and I had to show my ID. And that's short. That's ID, you know. It's an abbreviation for identification, which is one word. So the I stands for I, and the D stands for identification. I can't deliver it the same way he did, but anyway. Good evening, Orbital Air. Good to see you. I just said it reminded me of Norm Macdonald. I didn't say I'd be able to tell it as funny as Norm Macdonald. But yes, there is hypothetically a WGH1. I don't think you guys will ever see it. It would probably take me years to write and edit, and then art for it. Oh, thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Anyway. Oh, someone is messaging me. Who is messaging me? Let's see who that is. Who has messaged me? Why, it's my co-host, Kyle. But that is not to worry about. Anyhow, yeah, the A series, the Aries series, we will be continuing with that august body of modules when we come back with our group. And we're going to have just a ton of fun. We're going to keep on playing. Of course, you know, we'll have cameras in Dwarven Forge at the appropriate times. I've still got to wire all that stuff up to my Stream Deck over here, because stuff really when I tried to transfer over to a new PC, and again, my hand to God, I did not change software settings on this PC. So much stuff got munged up. It was frightening what just literally unplugging things from this PC and plugging them into a new PC, then coming back to this one, turning it on without those things plugged in, did to all of my settings. Which is why now and probably forever, I won't be able to hear my opening and closing music, which makes me sad because I rather like Owlbear, of course. I love Summer Mountains. I love them both. All right. I love them both. But now it's just like, sorry. So, yeah, I will have to get all my camera switches, because if I hit those buttons now, they don't do anything. I've got my little Stream Deck here, rather inconveniently located. What OS am I running here? This is Windows 10. It is the latest build of Windows 10. It's not the OS. I know you weren't about to get on my case, Orbital Air. Don't misunderstand what I'm about to say, but don't say run Linux or or switch to a Mac or something like that. They all have their own issues as well. Yeah, it is broken in almost exactly the way I need it to be. The old Windows 10. Yes. Okay. So I'm glad you asked that. My my Stream Deck is a USB device, which is it's an Elgato Stream Deck. My XLR mixer is a USB device. And the funny thing about the XLR mixer, that sounds like really super duper fancy. I want to show you guys something if you're interested. I'll have to like step over and get it because it's actually sitting on the other side of the table. So I want to show you guys this. So let me grab real quick that I am referring to. Now, this rather intimidating, at least to some people, looking box is a Go XLR. It is a mixing board. It has sliders. No, you do not control the Death Star firing system with that. It has sliders. It has pitch controls, reverb, echo. There's a gender knob on this. I'm not even going to address that. And then it's got a bunch of buttons that light up, and I can't really see because it's not plugged in. And then on the back, it's got a bunch of different microphone connections, an XLR port for a 48 volt powered microphone, which is what this is. And it's got, now this is important. It's got a USB port, and I'm going to come back to that. And then it's got power. It's got its own separate power bank, because this does so much that it can't draw off of it can't draw power off of USB. So I point out that this is a USB port here, and this is how it plugs into the computer. As weird as this may seem, if you don't stream or if you don't do studio audio, what this is a sound card. And if you're kind of new to computing or you don't really follow PC enthusiast stuff, a sound card is a little circuit card that you plug into a slot on your computer that lets it make sound. The slot inside your computer is the same kind of data interface as a USB port. It's just inside your computer and it uses more wires. It sends data to the CPU, and the CPU and the operating system do stuff with it, and they send data back. USB, part of the universal, is that you can plug just about anything in there. It's possible to have a USB display device, but the data throughput is slow enough that big high-res pictures don't work well. But that is largely what the U in Universal Serial Bus stands for. So this is just a big, complex sound card with a bunch of knobs on it. If you remember the old Sound Blaster 16, AW 64, Sound Blaster Gold, that sort of thing, that's really ultimately all this is. So getting Windows to recognize these is really easy, because Windows these days will look at it and go, "Oh, you're connecting an external sound card. It really only cares about the knobs and buttons and that sort of thing insofar as you push them and they do stuff inside the sound card. I have one right now. I already have a much smaller XLR deck. This one, in case you're curious, is made by TC Helicon. So this is a TC Helicon. And this is just a much simpler. I'm not sure if I can show this, if I can lift this up and show it to you guys. I will try. I can't. What I have behind the desk is a much simpler, it's about a third the size, maybe half the size. It's made by a company called Fifine. Neither of these are endorsements of their products, by the way. The Fifine works okay-ish. It has way fewer buttons and just 4 sliders on it. So these things are literally just USB sound adapters. And you might say, whoa, that's a thing. Believe it or not, back in the day, back in the late 90s and early 2000s, when they started coming out with USB sound adapters, they're not much bigger than a flash drive, and they have a headphone out and a microphone in. Some of the fancy ones might have 3 jacks out on them, like one on one side, or they're a little bit wider, so they've got all 3 across. But they're really just tiny, basic USB sound cards. So if you had a PC, like a Pentium PC from the mid 90s, didn't have a sound card, you wanted to give it sound capability, you could just get one of those, plug it in, drop the CD-ROM in, so Windows 98 or Windows 2000 could pick it up and go, okay, I know what that is. Works okay-ish. Put that testimonial. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Fifine's got cool stuff. I can do this.
See, my voice is changing. I can't hear what I sound like, so...
But you guys can hear me change.
My voice. Through a few different settings.
Like this.
Or that.
And there you go. So, and the larger one I was showing to you guys has a lot of different options like that. Orbital Air says, months ago when I ran Windows, it did a poor job of picking speakers, external speakers, or headphones. It seemed to pick outputs at random. And that's what I ran into trying to set my studio back up. Because I wound up trying to use essentially a software sound card to handle some of what I do with you guys. And I already had it installed. But like I said, when I came back, things didn't work right anymore. When I started plugging things back in, things just didn't work right anymore. The only reason I have a mixer is because I have an XLR mic. The only reason I have an XLR mic is because Bo Ganora, aka Imperial Ramblings, he gave me this XLR mic. I was using the Blue Snowball mic until November of last year, I think. And then I got this. I got the XLR deck, and I set it up over the course of a weekend, and bada bing, bada boom. So, but anyway, that's really it. Again, I can no longer hear my opening and closing credits, but whatever. At this point, I hate it. I can listen to them separately. But you guys can hear my audio. My guests can hear my audio. My guests can hear the intro and outro. I can hear my guests, and you guys can hear my guests. And I just kind of gave up at that point. I just said, okay, that's it. I'm done. The only thing that I've changed is I went to the metal pop filter. I thought this was a problem that one time I had Rob on because people kept saying I sounded tinny. And I thought that this thing was maybe vibrating or causing some kind of interference. But no, as it happens, I had my audio refresh rate was, or my audio sampling rate was just bonkers. I had it down around like 5,000. So I was sounding like a robot periodically. So I changed that back to what it should have been. And that was all that one time I had Rob on the show. For some reason, Rob claims his computer crashes when he tries to use StreamYard, which that is utterly and completely bonkers. I don't know what kind of computer Rob has. Rob is in Corsica, which is in France. So I it's not like I can exactly help him with his audio and video problems. But speak of the devil and he'll soon appear. Everybody, it's Imperial Ramblings, the guy who has contributed so much to the audio well-being of this show. We were just talking about XLR mics and XLR mixers and the battle that I had fought against my computer, against my streaming PC. But anyway, yeah, there was nothing I could do for Rob. So, I mean, the hoops we had to jump through to be able to capture and stream, what do you call it? Zoom to you guys. It was bonkers. -6 in Kansas. Yeah, it's getting pretty chilly up there. It is getting pretty chilly up there. How are things in Southeast? Well, I don't want to dox you. How are things where you are, Imperial Ramblings? Jorge, are you going to get a high summer where you're at now? Because we are just hitting the frigid winter months. Cold, yeah. Yeah, the eastern half of the United States. It's not even just the eastern seaboard. We are getting destroyed by some cold. And in the words of the great Les Nessman, monster lizard ravages East Coast. This lizard, the worst since 78, has paralyzed transportation. Oh my God. Jorge, by the way, for those of you who are curious, Jorge is closer to Antarctica than I am to Miami Beach. He could get to the Mountains of Madness, H.P. Lovecraft's Mountains of Madness, faster than I could get to Key West. The Lizard of 78. Yeah, I love talking about that, and I'm not. Gulf Coast is currently 40. Yeah, great old ones. Yeah. Where I am in Central Florida is going to be down in the 40s. But do you have the Shoggoth accompanying them, Jorge? But that was very much a thing. And I think it was driven home to us as kids by that episode of In Search Of. I mean, this is Mr. Spock, and he is talking to actual scientists telling us we're headed for a new ice age. We all remember the pictures from Cleveland, Chicago, Buffalo, particularly Buffalo. Is it actual snowing, Imperial Ramblings? They've canceled everything. Good Lord. Well, the funny thing was, so when I went up to Alabama, I can't believe I'm sitting here talking about the damn weather on my Dungeons and Dragons live. This is why I don't have any subscribers. Right? The old school D&D guy. He worked with Gygax. He's interviewed Jim Ward 4 times. Da 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 da. Oh, the weather down here in Florida, you know. Well, James Seymour, if you do, you're going to have to leave. Bye, son. Get it? Never mind. But I will say this, and then I'm just going to shift gears. When I went to Alabama in 2023, it was October. I remember October in Alabama from when I was a kid. Or at least I thought I did. So I took a couple of pairs of jeans, sweatshirt, hoodie, couple of t-shirts, you know. And it was mid-October. It wasn't the third Saturday in October. It was mid-October. And I'm sitting in Bryant-Denny Stadium. I was cooking. I was like, because, you know, I had my hoodie on. I didn't want to carry the damn thing, but good night. Yes, I'm aware, James. I'm aware he's not coaching the Tide anymore. See, such and such weather, don't like it, stick around for 5 minutes. Everybody says that about their state, their town, their municipality, their county, their neighborhood, their house, their block. Don't like it? Stick around for a minute. It'll change. Move from California. Okay, so this is here. I am trying to move towards the middle. Heidi Gygax lived in Hawaii for such a long time. Has 2 beautiful daughters. She who are Hawaiian natives. 2 adopted daughters. Lovely girls. She moved back to Wisconsin, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Lake, it's March 28th. There's a foot of snow on the ground. Geneva, Wisconsin. Good Lord. I know I've told you guys about that, but I cannot imagine moving. I mean, she knows what the weather was like, okay? Because we're talking about the Lizard of 78. She lived in the path of that. And she, you know, Hawaii for how many ever decades? We're moving back to Lake Geneva. I just can't fathom it, man. I mean, the town I lived in Northeast Alabama, Gadsden, we... Good night, Bob. You know, we had a goodly amount of cold weather in the winters, and I was not prepared. I was not prepared for Florida winters when we first moved down here. And the first couple of years were awesome, and then we had the 1982 freeze that wiped out most of the citrus. Started wiping out most of the citrus. Blight and fruit flies did the rest. Jack Photon says, make the conversation relevant by pulling out Pluffitt's Measure the Elders treatise on Greyhawk weather patterns for compare and contrast. What is the weather like in the world of Greyhawk right now? Let's take a look. Cold even just ended. Let's see. All right, here we go. No, that's not the right one at all. So here's your Greyhawk weather forecast. We're going to do this in freedom units. Wind in miles an hour, 24 hours. Show the average temperature. I'm sorry, I said it was cold even. That's months away. So we are the last couple of days of Needfest. The latitude where we are. Hey, Dungeon Minister. D20F. Hello, Wheeling Dragon. Good to see you. A Wheeling Dragon is never late. She arrives exactly when she means to. Here, let's see. Okay, so I have our latitude. That is to say, my latitude. Okay, so here we go. Here is the Needfest, and this is the last, second to the last. This is Earth Day. Oops, that is not. Share screen, window, do. And there we go. If you guys can't see that, I'll zoom that in a bit. So, it is Earth Day, second to last day of Needfest. That is the first week of January here on Earth. The average is 38. The high is 49. The low is 26. It ain't that bad here. But it is partly cloudy and calm. So it got that right. So there you go. This tomorrow may be pretty close to accurate. Tomorrow may be pretty close to accurate. So there you go. Anybody want to tell me their latitude, and I'll tell you what the weather is like where you're at in the world of Greyhawk right now? I can do that. Let's see. Okay, so the town that I used to live in, Gadsden, is latitude 34 north. All right. "34 north, cast the spell. Latitude. Latitude. And then we'll see how close it is to the pin. All right, here we go. Second to last day of Need Fest. It is the high is 33, the average is 23, the low is 13. It's cloudy, light wind. All right. So let's do this. We'll go to the Weather Channel, look at the 10-day, which will give us today's. Come on. That's not far off the mark, guys. It's a little low, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Let's look at the hourly, or rather today. And compare it. 33, 23, 13, 38, 29, 27. Yeah, it really is. It really is. Great Gold Worm, hello. Let me see if it'll do southern latitudes, Jorge. Let me see if it'll do southern latitudes, and we will see what the Great Hawk weather where you are is. No, unfortunately, the lowest it will go is 15 degrees north. I cannot change the latitude because the Flay&S is, of course, all we've got. We don't have any southern continent. However, we can make an approximation and see how close we've got. All right, so let's do this. So you're 53, let's see. So let's 53, but now we're going to flip to Richfest, the Midsummer Fest. And your Seacoast, wouldn't you be? That's something I didn't account for, was terrain. I had Longwood still set in mountains, so Seacoast current is cold, I would think. So let's cast the spell. I'm not sure how accurate this is or is not. Because we have you at a high of 51, an average of 42, but a low of 34 with, well, you're in for a windstorm. Out of the northwest, 33 meters a second, because apparently I forgot to set this back to freedom units for wind speed. So there you go. You'll have to tell me if that's close at all to what it's like where you're at in actuality. Big shout out to my buddy over there, Jack Photon, for suggesting that. So there you go. That's the Grey Hawk weather for wherever you might be this evening. But anyhow, if anyone else wants the Greyhawk weather forecast. Yeah. I mean, I was I was working with what I had, uh, and I know that's kind of way off the mark. The Pastel Fox says next winter you'll spend some time on Dark Sun. Lots of beaches, beach as far as the eye can see. It's the water that one typically associates with beaches that's the problem in Dark Sun. Can I do? Okay, we can absolutely do yours. Wheeling Dragon, what, pray tell, is your latitude? Well, I can scroll up. Let me see. I don't see your latitude. Okay. What is your latitude where you're at? You can't. Oh, that's fine, Pastel. So find your latitude, Google it up, Wheeling Dragon. Just what is the latitude of where I am? And we will plug this in. And let's see, your terrain is plains. And we're going to make sure that the wind is set to miles per hour. And then we will proceed apace as soon as we know it. Got tapped to do a pirate campaign. That's excellent. That's wonderful, man. I'm going to 3D print a pirate ship. I want to do that. Water is 38. I'm not seeing it. If you're trying to send it as a link, Wheeling Dragon, just type the number in. So I'm not. Don't send me a link unless you're private messaging me somewhere. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go find a show. I haven't printed anything cool in a really long time. And of course, now that I get the itch to, it's going to be in the 30s and 40s, which is absolutely the worst time. The worst time to print. Something I'm going to get to at the end of this month with my 3D printing channel. Okay, I'll keep an eye on Discord. Do I have Discord open? I should. There it is. All right. I'm on Discord. Play nice. Okay. Oh, that's easy enough. Yeah, that's actually not too far. So you are 37 degrees north. When I was a kid and I would hear about latitude, I used to think that meant the temperature. 37 degrees north. Got temps like you guys in Phoenix. Yeah, Jay, it can. All right, so here we go. Oh, and we need to put it back to NeedFest. I'll get to you, they, then. Okay, here we go. Let us add the present. Present the ad. So, Wheeling Dragon, it is high of 35, low of 20. Low of 4, average of 20, partly cloudy, strong winds out of the southeast. Does not note, well, actually, it does note precipitation because it says partly cloudy. So, according to Greyhawk, you're not getting any snow. Let's see. They then, what is your terrain like? They then, where you're at? Because otherwise, you're gonna get about the same as Wheeling Dragon. So tell me what your terrain type is like in your hex. They then, or in your kingdom. Is it plains? Is it forest? Is it mountains? Is it hills? Plains, okay. Simple enough. Nothing else to change. So you, my good friend, you are high of 33, average 21, low of 8, partly cloudy, strong winds out of the east at 21 miles an hour. Jay Tyler, you want to... Is there only one continent in Greyhawk? So the map of the Flaness that we get in the World of Greyhawk set, that is a good question. The map of the Flaness indicates some islands and possibly the northern edge of a southern continent on Darlene's map. However, let us acrobat Adopen. Let us Hadoken the map. And let's see. We will open the Greyhawk map. Or not the Greyhawk map, rather. We're going to open the Greyhawk glossography. Hopefully I will be able to find this. Because I want you to take a look at something here. I got to zoom way in. Okay. Our map of Greyhawk that we have is not that big. It's not. Let me share this up there with you guys real quick. So I want you to take this in. $33 north. I'll come back to you there, Jay. Hang on one second. Okay. I'm going to shrink that down a little bit. Realize that was quite that big. Oh, what is going on there? First of all, let's close that. You bring this over here and shrink this down and find what I need. There it is. Okay. That dotted line you see, I don't know if you see that as dotted. That encompasses Darlene's map. Look how much more Greyhawk there is. Over here is possibly an entire unexplored continent. Down here is possibly an entire unexplored continent. Or they could be attached to the larger continent of the Flaness just off the map. There is an enormous mass of land to be explored. So depending on how you interpret this and this will inform whether or not you think that the world of Greyhawk is but one continent or more. Now, let's get back to Jay Tyler's weather question. Then we'll probably wrap up on that, because I've got a AD&D game to run. So, and you are in desert. So let's cast the spell. So, Jay Tyler. Jay Tyler says he is at 33 North. Your low today is 34, your high is 45, your average is 40. It is cloudy with moderate winds out of the south at 18 miles an hour. So bundle up. Turn on the heat tonight. And there you go. There you go. Weather in the world of Greyhawk and your world on the count of the first week of January. It is, of course, Needfest. Oh, you're very welcome, Jay. By the way, if anyone wants to do this, like, if anyone wants to copy this, and the beautiful thing about this is you only have to do it once and then you can screenshot. Just do it for the entire year and screenshot it, and then like save it as a PDF. And then you've got the weather for every day for your entire campaign. And if you do it for every terrain type, then you're covered. Wherever your characters are, you'll have the weather sorted out for them. I mean, hypothetically, you could also punch in every possible latitude that it'll let you. But that might be a little tedious because, you know, well, I mean, you can go up to 55 north and as far south as 15. So that gives you 40 degrees. So that's 40 entries for every month times 8, 9 types of terrain. Hills, rough, forest, jungle, swamp, marsh, plains, desert, mountains, seacoast, and the ocean itself. So your mileage may vary depending on how much your party moves. If they're exceptionally well traveled, well, you know, maybe just do it month to month. But anyway, by the way, that's not affiliated with, I just really like the guy's website because it's very handy. And it is essentially the weather generator that was published, I think, in both Dragon Magazine and in the Greyhawk box set and folio. But anyway, guys, speaking of going places, I have got to get going. I'll be back Thursday. You guys stay safe, stay warm, be good to each other. And remember, even though it's their hibernation season, please, please do have a care and watch out for the owl bears. Peace. Good night. Love you all. Have you seen my owl bear?
Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around, some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.